Okay, greetings, brothers and sisters. I made a video on my Apocalypse Now channel that got a community guideline strike, but it's a warning because they've redone their policies. Um, Let me just show you what's happening here. But the video itself was a video I just needed to make, and I think it borderline goes against their policies. I'm going to ask for a review. But the essence of the video, here's the video here. Um, it's time for admit for it's time for YouTube, CNN, and ESPN and CNN to admit that hate speech and hate crimes they committed against, and it should be anti-vaxxers and anti-vaxxers. And so I made the title too long, which I would have had it correct before I put the video up, because the video passed through. It was monetized. It passed through their detection system, which is pretty substantial. But I think because of the title, it was flagged. I don't know if a human reviewed it or whatever. They're bots. But everything is so mechanical now. But anyways, let's start here because I want to explain everything about the video. And it says here, something you posted may violate YouTube's community guidelines. To help keep the community safe, we removed it. Your channel has received a warning. And the part that I have a problem with right here is to help keep the community safe, because there's nothing in my video that would jeopardize the community. Their medical misinformation policies have been proven completely wrong, not just by people like us who would see it, but they're just out of date based on everything that's played out, right? And so I talk a little bit about the bloop, and but mostly it's about how their policies are out of date, and this is hate speech. YouTube has a whole big thing about hate speech. It's part of their and marginalized groups. And people in the truth community and anti-vaxxers are marginalized groups, and they have allowed hate speech against them that's turned out to be wrong on top of it, right? And so there's a time where you have to admit you're wrong. And that time's long since passed. And all these various people, I was talking about Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers as examples and all the things. I'm going to find a place to post the video because I want people to see it. I'm going to find another platform to do that, which I'll update people later. So here we got to go look at the content. And so it's time-stamped medical misinformation. So I'm going to, at least they did that. That's something new. Content that poses a serious risk of egregious harm by spreading medical misinformation about currently administered vaccines that are approved and confirmed to be safe and effective by local health authorities and the World Health Organization isn't allowed on YouTube. And so I'll watch that little bit. I'm glad they time-stamped it. And I said some things about whatever, the bloop, that is, but it's minor, and I'm not really talking about that. Just that it's been, it's, nobody's taking it anymore. So how can it be harmful? You're still not allowing people to express their opinions about this when, people have already made their decisions about it, right? So I'll go ahead and see the video myself and read the policy, and I'll come back to the next part here. Okay, so I reviewed what they're saying was was against their policy. And what I said was that people are from different religions, different backgrounds, different colors, different racial groups, all these things. I'm paraphrasing. And that all of us shared one belief, that the bloop wasn't for us. I didn't say bloop, and, and they've given it as a community guidelines. And so it's really lame. Is that what they're, all they said, we believed it wasn't for us. And so, that's not, that's a threat to the community. I was surprised that was, because I couldn't think of anything I said, because I'm not really even talking about, the bloop so much, other than the fact that, things have, I mean, people aren't getting it. They're not getting the rooster, right? They're not, they're not, the people have given up on it. And so it's not preventing, it's not like some, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about how people who didn't want it were marginalized, and, things that YouTube says are, like there's marginalized communities. And like Joe Biden was saying, they're killing people, like calling people murders. That's hate speech. And I, give a definition of hate speech and a definition of, what hate crimes are. And hate speech leads to hate crimes, according to everybody. And so, there was this animus against these group of people, right? Who were, against the bloop. And so we all know about it. And I talk about it in a very, I mean, I think this thing might be reversed, unless there's something else that they have, because that's seriously just ridiculous. It's just silly, because all I say is, there are these various groups of people, and, it's, whatever. It's that it. I'm like, I'm shocked that's what they said. That we just said it. I can't say that wasn't for us, that we decided that we didn't want something. That is, violates their community guidelines. Like, it's silly. So I'm going to appeal that now. I think that they'll reverse it unless there's something else here, and I'll have to fix the title, but I think they'll probably put it up here. It's just unbelievably silly. Let's go to the next piece here. So the thing was at 8:05. So I have to take the training, and I have to submit an appeal. You take the training, and they erase the thing after 3 months. But I would, I'll submit an appeal, and that'll be the next step. But this is like just silly. So I used to be able to say something to them, but they're saying we're reviewing your appeal, and I didn't get to explain why I think that their policies were wrong, which is what they used to do. So they're going to do that, and they'll say 72 hours here. If the appeal isn't granted, I can take out that one part or just re-say it, and I don't even know why I should or have to, but I can edit that and see if they'll allow the video to be there, the rest of it, right? Unless there's, like I say things like that maybe throughout the video, so they could always find something. But I'm willing to go through it, right, because of all of these things. And if they don't allow the video on YouTube, I'll just find another platform, because this sucks. Like, it's just time. Like, it's embarrassing for them, right, that they're still adhering to these arcane policies. And if I can't say, or anybody can't say, that there's groups of people, demographics, every demographic has people in it who believe that the bloop is not for them. The bloop is not for them is a frickin' community guideline. Like, we share a belief. We come from different backgrounds, but we share one belief that the bloop is not for us. That is a community guideline strike that there's people, because it's a true statement, right? There's people in every demographic who didn't want to get the bloop because they didn't think it was for them. And that's, silly. And I assume that they're going to pass this thing through. Like, if a human reviews it, go, well, that's not really, I mean, they might look at other parts of the video, but then it becomes just, a joke, right? And so then I can do the training policy, whatever, and then it'll be erased in 3 months. But like, all that just doesn't matter. Like, in 3 months, I have to rethink my whole thing with YouTube and the rest of it, right? Because YouTube's just becoming a joke. Like, if that's your policies, like, you dismiss this, and then it says here, what do you want to do? Take the training policy. I guess I can still do that. And then they're going to look at our content and then take action. And here's the training. Take the training policy. Medical misinformation. Here it is. 7 questions. If you want to share your content confidently in this training, you'll see scenarios related to the policy you violated. You have limited attempts to get it right. Vaccine misinformation. While there are different types of medical misinformation, the one we'll focus on most is training and is vaccine misinformation. YouTube doesn't allow content that poses a serious risk of egregious harm by spreading medical misinformation that contradicts local health authorities or the World Health Organization. So they're saying that the World Health Organization does not allow people to say that there are people from every demographic that share one belief, and that is that the bloop is not for them. And the specific health conditions, bloop, the policy includes the following categories: prevention misinformation, treatment misinformation, denial misinformation. We may allow content that includes medical misinformation if the content has educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic content. These exceptions aren't a pass to promote medical misinformation. The training includes description of medical misinformation which could be upsetting or triggering to people, making it unsafe for people. A creator uploads a video which claims they have researched vaccines online and now are convinced that vaccines cause cancer. Is this a violation? Yes, it is. It's a violation of your frickin' rules. Correct. I'm correct. Boom. I nailed it. Boom. Kaboom. I nailed it. Okay. Here it is. In a televised interview uploaded to YouTube, a pediatrician urges parents to have their children immunized. The doctor also states that natural immunity is much stronger than immunity they get from a vaccine. Is this a violation? I'm going to say no, it isn't, but I'm not sure. Boom, I am correct. It is. I'm just nailing it. Like I just, wow. Like I'm like, I should be like the head of the class. Safara, there's a person named Safara, an imaginary person, recorded a conversation with her friend where she claimed she became infertile after a chemical abortion using a prescription medication, mifeprostone and misoprostol. I know I'm just horrible at those medical words. Safara urged her friends to avoid medical abortions or else they will also become infertile. Is this a violation? Again, I'm not sure, but I'm going to say no, it isn't. Boom, that's not quite. It violates our policy because it promotes misinformation about side effects of the chemical abortion method. Maybe I misread that. She claims. I missed the she claims thing. I'm not paying attention. Try again. Okay, Safara, here, yes. Yes, it is. I think I'm gonna nail it this time. Boom, I got it right this time. It was great. Pablo uploads a video which criticized the university's requirement that all upcoming students be vaccinated against certain diseases like polio or measles, mumps, and rubella. In the video, Pablo said that these vaccines don't work because they don't reduce the number of people who get the diseases. Yes, it is. Because Pablo is a frickin' douche. Because why would he say such horrible things? Why is he making the community so unsafe? Frick Pablo. Fuck you, Pablo. You're making the community unsafe. Yvonne, they've gone out of their way to have unusual names. Yvonne and her friends live stream. Like, this is the English version, right? Like, there's probably a version for every, country. Do they have Joe in, Ubanistan? Like, do they have Joe and Tom and Sarah and, like, Ubanistan and Jane? Like, it's just weird. Like, the names are... Anyway, Yvonne and her friends live stream a discussion about COVID-19. Yvonne says that the most tragic part of the pandemic was that some government leaders failed to respond quickly enough. She says that never would happen if the government made right decisions. The pandemic is the government's fault. I do not think this is a violation, but I'm not sure. Let's see. That is correct. I am just like, boom. I am getting it done. A biochemist uploads a video which he warns viewers to stay away from medical vaccines because a doctor and pharmaceutical companies are conspiring to use vaccines to alter people's DNA. She says the vaccines are meant to make our immune systems weaker, so they spend money on doctors. Well, we know this. She selects all the correct answers. Spend more money on doctors and medicine. The video violates the policy because the creator slams the vaccines alter DNA. The video does not violate the policy because the creator is a scientist. That is definitely not right. This video does not violate the policy because pharmaceutical companies create vaccines and get people to fall sick and buy more medicines. It's just an opinion. The video does not violate the policy because the biochemist is only warning people to avoid vaccines, not forcing them. It's the first one. And so, boom. I almost got an A here. And Shahar uploaded a video saying that she still has stage 4 lung cancer after several rounds of chemotherapy. So it's clear the chemotherapy did not work for them. The video doesn't violate the policy because stage 4 lung cancer is incurable. The video doesn't violate the policy because Shahar is allowed to share her personal experiences with approved cancer treatments. The video doesn't violate the policy because everyone knows that chemotherapy doesn't work. The video violates I'm pretty sure it's not that one. The video violates the policy because Shahar is discouraging others from getting chemotherapy. I have to read this one again. Shahar uploaded, because I forgot the thing. Shahar uploaded a video saying that she still has stage 4 lung cancer after several months of chemotherapy. So it isn't clear the chemotherapy. So it's clear the chemotherapy did not work for them. So Shahar as using them as a pronoun in this particular scenario. Now this is a little bit more complicated. But so it's not this one. It doesn't, because it allows you to share her personal experience with approved cancer treatments. She's saying that it's clear the chemotherapy did not work. The video violates. I would say it's probably this one. No. Try again. Shahar focused only on her personal experience, so it's the one here. Because right here. So I got it right. But that was a tricky one. Nice work. You completed the training. We appreciate your help in the guidelines. Your warning will expire on August 30th, 2024. And so if I post another video, I'll get an actual strike. If I wait for the strike to disappear, then it will disappear. And so I've done the appeal. I've done the personal training. I'm ready to go back to my channel. And here it is. There's a warning here. And so this is fucking wonderful here. Okay, so I made a voiceover that I'll end the video with already, but I want to add this to that. And that is, whenever they say, we're just trying to keep you safe, right? Oh, we're just trying to keep you safe. That's always the line they use when they're going to take away your rights. Working in treatment centers, and, this was, you see any kind of a mental institution or these hospitals, oh, we're just trying to keep you safe. Oh, we're just trying to keep everybody safe, right? Like it's a phrase that they use when they're saying your behavior. In this case, words. My words were that there are people from all these various demographics that all share one belief that the bloop isn't for them. That's my words. Like, how can that be? How is that unsafe for anybody? But we do know that in terms of their definition of safety, that in marginalized groups, that conspiracy theorists, as they call them, truthers, and anti-vaxxers are not safe, right? And especially when, COVID was at its peak, all this rhetoric was put out there that was not safe, right? In terms of like just day-to-day life. And I mean, not just on YouTube, but across the board. But whenever they say this, oh, we're just trying to keep you safe, or we're just trying to keep the community safe, it's a way to say that your behavior is dangerous, and therefore they can violate your rights, whatever they are. Whatever they are. They can be dishonest, they can be deceitful, they can be authoritarian. The YouTube has been wrecked by this idea of, oh, we're just trying to keep everybody safe. Well, what do people want? Oh, there's a few people who are offended. We want to make sure that no one's offended by your words. Well, people are offended by the whole internet's offensive, right? People say things that are offensive all the time. People say horrible things to each other, and in general. But we're just keeping you safe, right? It's not what you're saying is unsafe. We want to respect your rights, but what you're saying is unsafe, so we have to control you. And so, there's that. All right, here's the other voiceover. Okay, so the point of my video here, I made yesterday, this video about how hate speech is allowed towards anti-vaxxers, right? And I document it with things that they said. Of course, I have this compilation that I've played on that channel quite a bit. And I assume that they're going to reverse the appeal because this was bot driven and they're supposed to have a human watch it. And I don't know how in the world they could claim that me saying that people believe that the bloop wasn't for them is a violation of the community guidelines. Like, how is that even possible? Right? But it proves my point. There's discriminatory policies against people's belief system, which is hate speech, right? And you can see the things that were said about anti-vaxxers and what's said regularly about people in the truth community. And so YouTube's a fraud, and ESPN and Disney and I put CNN, but it's all mainstream media. Like I just I'm going to redo the title. But anyways, so there's that. But it's prejudicial and it's hate speech, right? It's taking a group of people, a marginalized group of people who don't have resources, who've been strangled, who are going up against the big, pharma companies and the beastly system. And, again, I was never, I mean, if you wanted to get the bloop, that's good, go get it. Get 5 of them, get 100 of them. I don't care. Keep on getting them. Like I'm all for it, right? I've been saying that since the beginning. I'm not, trying to convince people not to. Like it has my thing has nothing to do with that. I don't try to convince people of anything that I do. I don't try to say, hey, do this, do that, right? I mean, the most that I, hope people will do is the Sajmarg meditation, gratefulness meditation. But even then, I know that doesn't work for everybody. And I'm not, promoting it in a way that's saying you should do it, like everyone should do it, because that's not the case. I know already that's not the case because lots of people do it and they don't feel anything and they don't like it. I mean, they try for a little while and maybe it would work after some time. I don't know. But it takes 40 people to start, and that's the old days. I don't know what it is now. For a person to get one good person, he'll stay. And so, it isn't for everybody. And I've been saying that in my videos, right? That's the thing I most believe in. And so, I don't believe that everything that works for me is going to work for you. Physically, spiritually, whatever. And so I'm, well aware of that. And I don't know what's best for you. And don't want to know. Don't want to be on the hook and be responsible for that. That's why I always say I'm not recommending anything. I'm telling you what works for me. And I'm not encouraging you to do anything. I'm just saying this thing worked for me. Like something like I just did with my dental situation, and that it's actually, I think it's actually getting better. It seems like one of my cavities is disappearing from this new toothpaste and, the Sonicare toothbrush. Like I was, it was quite transformational because I was working so hard. You guys who saw my dental video, that I was working so hard to figure a way that I wouldn't, constantly having been rely on the dentist and, to whatever, I said it in the video. And I was doing more concentrated work to save my teeth. And then all of a sudden I switched toothbrushes and I guess this toothpaste, the hype, whatever it was. And, I go to the dentist and she's like, oh my God, your teeth have gotten so much better. And so on every level, my gums and all these things. And so, but I don't know if that's going to work for you. Like I don't. Like it's just, it worked for me. I'll tell people about it, but I'm not recommending it, right? And so I believe in, I mean, we all have our own medical sovereignty and our own spiritual sovereignty, and everyone has to make a choice. And it only works if you make a choice. Things only work if you believe in them. I mean, I'm not talking just about in terms of medicine or anything like that, but you have to endorse things. Like you can't do it because it'll make somebody else happy or somebody else enjoys it or all the cool people are doing it. Like that's part of the problem. There's so many people who are doing mindless things, who are doing things that are not their choice. They're just going along with the herd, right? And that's one of the big problems with humanity, where people aren't making individual choices based on thoughtful consideration. And it happens in the truth community. The herd mentality exists in the truth community just like everywhere else, maybe even more so, which is, part of the whole problem. Like people actually figuring out what's best for them and understanding, what kind of person they are and what their needs are and what their, orientation of the world is, at least on a deeper level than, what they think it is. and then making the choices that are best for them. You know, figuring out what the right choice is, because I believe very firmly there's one right choice in any situation. You just have to find it, right? And, you know, it differs for people based in their ability to understand what the right choice is. Like people being mature enough and able to understand what the right choice is in any given circumstance. And that's what the Gratefulness, Sajmark meditation does. It helps people learn to use their heart and connect with the divinity, the soul within them, and use that as a, you know, as a way to gather information, a way to, you know, map out their course and illuminate their, you know, their true path, right? And not everybody's ready to do that. Most people aren't. That's, you know, another big problem with humanity. And so, you know, you can't tell people what their choice is. If they can't figure it out for themselves, then they're screwed. Like, it's just how it is. If you can't figure it out for yourself, you're screwed. Like, you have to, you know, allow yourself to you know, find your path, right? Find your course, and you have to develop the abilities to do that. And if you can't do that, then it's just you've wasted, you know, you're wasting time, right? You're just, you know, you're not getting it. Like, you're just wandering around without any clue why you're here or what you should do. I mean, that's how people are. And so, you know, there's this heavy-handed governmental system, and now, you know, with YouTube's thing here, where they push an agenda telling you what's best for you and then excluding any other opinion, which is, you know, I mean, that's like evil. Like, that's what makes it evil, because people have to find their own way. And they're using people's fear, and they're using people's, you know, their inability to, or for abstract thought, their inability for, you know, higher consciousness against them, and discouraging all those things. I mean, that's always the way it's been. So anyways, check out the, you know, I'll let you know if the video gets uploaded, because it's worth watching. Like, it's something I haven't been able to say, things I, you know, whatever. And it just, it marks a time in our history on the internet, the history of the internet, where the people who have been pushing an agenda that has turned out to be, you know, wrong on every level need to be held accountable in some way. Like, there's, you know, there's no system for that, but at least, you know, the words can be there and the ideas can be there, and, you know, all the rest of it. But if the video gets put up there, I'll let people know here, and, you know, if they pass it through. Otherwise, I'll find a, you know, maybe I'll edit out that one line, which is silly, but I know what they say. It's, you know, I'll edit that out and then, you know, put it up, and, you know, make it available right away so people can try to watch it right away before they find something else, you know, if that's what they're going to try to do. And then other than that, I will, you know, I'll post it on some third platform. I'll find something, Rumble or one of these other, you know, platforms. So we'll see how it all plays out. But like, you know, like, it's just goofy. You know, the reasoning is just goofy. I can't imagine they won't reverse it, right? But who knows? Like, you know, I mean, their level of suck does never surprises me. So, you know, there's that. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paramano, definitely reporting from the Apocalypse. And the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.